Good morning, everybody. It's 10 minutes past 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the program. Lou and Jackie here, along with our good friend and recent birthday girl, Sherry Clark, joining us in studio right now. But you realize keeping your bones healthy to prevent osteoporosis is very important, regardless of what age you are.
Absolutely. And a lot of times we're not always thinking about that with things that we ingest, whether it be food or liquid. But you're saying we need to keep that in mind, and there's certain things we can ingest that will help with bone health, correct?
Right, and keeping our bones good and dense and strong, but still, it takes place over the lifetime. So it's never too early to begin. And even as we get older, what we want to do is we want to maintain our bone density. So Jackie, like always, I gave you the things that are not so good for health, just to help people understand and make the point. And as we said earlier,
good. So you're saying
to compare and contrast.
Don't lift weights. Thank you. I'm so glad we finally got this straight.
That's amazing. Thank you for being here, Sherry. We appreciate it.
Lift weights.
I get no respect around here at all. What I was going to say is one of these is a ringer, and one of these is actually good for you on the tray, and you've identified it. And many of us already know, but if we don't, it bears repeating. Weight-bearing exercise is really helpful for bone strength. So lifting small weights, walking, doing things that keep weight on the bone, even the weight of your own body. Doing planks is a good example of that.
Yeah, just as moving is basically what you're talking about, and making sure that your bone structure and the bones are doing what they're designed to do.
That's right, and that's holding you in place.
Right.
Now let's talk about what's not so good for bones and why. So we've got on there a couple of different items. We've got the Jim Beam, and I'm not picking on Jim Beam specifically. I'm not saying vodka and gin are okay and Jim Beam isn't. I'm saying alcohol is not so good. Next to it is a mixer, and that would be any sort of a beverage. Once again, I'm not picking strictly on Coca-Cola. I'm also saying any kind of phosphorus-containing soft drink or beverage. Salt, so that would be sea salt, table salt, any of those kinds of salt. And then I picked that particular goodie to represent sugar. And the reason that I picked that was because it's organic jelly beans.
They're jelly, but they're organic.
Exactly. You hear me talking all the time, let's buy organic. But just because it's organic, people, doesn't mean that you get a pass out. So sugar is another bad thing. So why are these things bad for bone health? Because bones are an alkaline substance, and the body likes to stay alkaline. So if you ingest those acid-producing substances, what the body will do to balance it is leach the alkaline from the bone.
So it's looking for some alkaline to balance it, and what they're trying to do is get to like a 7 pH. Try to balance the pH out.
Exactly. So that the blood and all the tissues are balanced, and that's why those things are not good, because the body has no choice but to say, all right, I've been dealt this hand, I got to deal with it.
Yeah, they can't go to the store and buy some themselves, right?
Right. Exactly. So let's talk about, and we can go to the store and buy some things, but let's talk, as always, about things that we can do ourselves that are more natural and healthy and that we can get from the kitchen. So on your tray, I brought you a plethora of really good bone producing goodies. So let's start on the far right, and that would be figs. Figs are in season right now. Those are simply fresh figs. Those you eat out of hand. You eat everything except the stem. I love to just pop them in my mouth. They're great. They have lots of good fiber. They're sweet. They're great. You can chop them up and put them on your cereal. You can try them if you'd like.
Okay.
And then that little guy.
Okay, that's different from here.
That little guy, yep.
The regular figs like this.
The regular figs like this.
Do they in the store? Do they come like this, or they come prepackaged?
They come in a pint, and that's typically how they're sold. Now this is a black mission fig. There's all different kinds of varieties. There's turkey figs and all other kinds, but I like this one, and that was what was there and available.
And why is this good for my bones?
It's got a lot of calcium in it. So and lots of other good minerals.
Okay.
Yes. So figs are really high in calcium, really good for bone density. Another way to eat them is dried, and the dried fig right there on your plate, and you can buy those in a package. This is what a package of dried figs looks like, and you can buy them. You can buy them in bulk in some of the health food stores as well. But I like this for taking on airplanes, because it's really good, and I just think it's really nice. If you're a cheese eater, it goes nice as a little condiment on a cheese tray.
I think a lot of people have seen the dried ones more than anything else, but these fresh ones are really
delicious.
Good. They're really good.
They are delicious. And if you get one, sometimes, most of the time they're pretty sweet. Those are pretty sweet. These are really good ones. If you get one that isn't sweet, drizzle a little bit of honey on top of it, and it's saved. So they're delish.
Okay.
Really good.
So figs are a great go-to. What are some other things that we have on our plate?
So one of the things that we've talked about a million times, and you know that I love it, is hummus. And the reason that hummus is so good for your bones is that it is primarily made out of sesame or tahini. Here's some sesame seeds, which are also good. This is good by itself. You just sprinkle it on your salad. You can make sesame seed butter, which is also known as tahini.
That's tahini, okay.
And another ingredient in hummus is chickpeas.
Right.
And chickpeas, so all of these are high in calcium and once again, other minerals. I've paired it with flax crackers.
Okay.
So any nuts and seeds are also going to be high in bone supporting nutrition. So again, high in calcium, high in potassium, and those are really good. And they're not salted, so I haven't added any of the things that would make it so bad for you. So you've got pretty much a bone bomb going on there, you know, with those two things combined. Really easy to do.
And really good.
And really tasty, exactly. If you prefer, that's a savory example.
Okay.
If you prefer something a little sweet, what I've got for you over there is, in the brown bowl, is some cookies. Now these cookies are also made out of flax seeds. So we think of flax seeds as being savory because they're crackers typically. But cookies can also be made out of flax seeds. These are ginger, there's a chocolate version and whatever. These are store-bought. You can make them yourself. There's lots of recipes on the internet. And I paired them with almond butter because almonds are also good for bone density. And I'm focusing mostly today on calcium because calcium is the one that we think of immediately. But let's remember that there are other nutrients that are also good.
It's so good.
It's so delicious, isn't it? Calcium and magnesium and vitamin D are a trio that work together for good bone density. So you can see all of these whole foods are going to support that. And then the crescendo, my favorite thing, is I brought you, again, a smoothie. I'm always doing some weird smoothie,
You're the
right?
smoothie queen.
I'm a weird smoothie girl. So what this has got in it, believe it or not, is tahini.
It does, okay.
It's got figs to sweeten it. It's got almond milk, so you can see I'm hitting a home run so far, aren't I?
Yeah.
And vanilla, which I made myself, and that's got a little bit of alcohol in it, but it's not so much that it's going to take away. So we got to temper it.
Because that's how you extract the flavor, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
To me, it makes it taste a lot like a vanilla milkshake.
So again, staying away from the sugar, the salts, and other things that can kind of take away from our bone density and adding to it and keeping them strong with various calcium entities. But some people need something a little bit extra besides just what we're eating, as far as grabbing a fruit or some hummus or something like that. And there are some benefits out there, but you don't always know the right one to go to.
That's right. And there are lots of over-the-counter supplements that we can buy. And the important thing that I'm going to suggest that everybody do whenever you listen to a segment like this one, read an article or whatever, do your own research. Let's make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. You don't just run out and buy something at the drugstore just because, oh, I think I've got this covered.
Right.
This is one that I have researched that I like. It's got several different ingredients in it. It's got calcium, magnesium, it's got vitamin D, it's got some other supplements and minerals. But this is one that I like, and I did my research. So if there's something that you're considering, do your research. Google the product itself and then the word reviews.
Okay.
And make sure that you make a really intelligent decision. Another thing that's good for bone health is collagen. And you know that I am vegetarian vegan, so I don't eat animal products. Collagen comes from animals. This is a collagen sort of supplement that is made for vegetarians and vegans. It's a collagen builder that provides nutrition for the body to build its own collagen.
So supports its own process.
To make its own, exactly. Okay. Once again, do your research. Make sure that this fits for you and your criteria. And then finally, one of the things we have is when we are not taking care of our bones, or we've overdone something and we have a bone break, that's a time to really pull out the stops. And while we need to, get the weight off of the bone for the first part of the period of time and whatnot, do what the doctor says, I also think that there are supplements and things that we can do when that happens. And Comfrey, which is also known as Bone Knit, is one of them. And I would suggest that you do the research on that. This is topical. You put it on your skin. in. There are some warnings about taking comfrey internally, that it's not suggested. Again, do your research. There's something to be said about bone health at every point along the way, whether you're young and doing preventative, whether you're older and trying to maintain your mass, or whether you're dealing with trauma and trying to deal with a break or sprain or fracture. There's something to be done for every point.
Now, did you call that bone knit?
Bone knit, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it does what you basically what it sounds like.
What it sounds like,
Yeah.
exactly. That's the kind of the slang, the familiar cousin kind of term for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll hear it used both ways when you hear it referenced at the store or by people who are talking about bone health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, lots of things to keep in mind, and I like how you started it saying it's never too early or too late to start thinking about incorporating this into your life. If people want more details on this subject matter or just ways of creating a better them or a healthier them, how can they get in touch with you, Sherry?
Well, my website is fork-road.com and my email is info@fork-road.com, and I would love to hear from you, and I hope that you're not going to be reaching out to me because you've got some bone break and you need bone knit.
But that's bone knit that you have there. But great stuff here, and they can get the recipes from you online too.
Absolutely.
Right? Perfect.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, and hopefully you can send Sherry a happy belated birthday
Daniel, happy birthday
message
to you.
as well. So many great things heading your way.